everybody, welcome to another episode. I'm Rob.
What's up, my nerds?
And I'm Andi.
And this is
Everybody in the Conference Room.
Oh, dude, that was so good.
Todd Packer.
Yeah, that's excellent. We're going to get to Mr. Todd Packer.
I almost choked on my drink.
Hey, guys, welcome to another episode. As always, make sure that you subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. And if you leave us a 5-star, we will read it live on the air. We got a good one. Two, actually.
We've been getting those 5 stars.
I know. Another
awesome.
2
Love
came
you
in this
guys.
week. I'm only going to read one.
Okay.
We'll save the other one for next week.
Sure.
But yeah, if you leave us a 5-star, we'll read it live on the air. Make sure you tell a friend about the show.
Please.
I feel like people have been doing that.
Yeah.
And it is working. It's
hear
spreading
about
the
it
word.
all the time.
Thank you, guys.
It's like Tinkerbell. Remember Peter Pan the play? You know, like you got to believe.
Oh, there you go.
And then
You got to
Tinkerbell
clap your
gets
hands.
revived, right? Am I not the only one who remembers?
Just
Honestly,
tell-
I have no idea what you're
Okay,
Tell
that's
your
fine.
friends
Like
and
smiling
clap your
and
hands
clap your
while
hands.
you're telling them.
Yeah, see, he
And there
gets
you go.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
excellent.
and you won't be weird. Don't
No,
worry
not
about
at
it.
all. Not at all.
Yeah.
And then, so thank you for telling a friend. Keep doing that. It's working. It's a great tangible way to help the show. Thank you for doing that. Make sure you check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/anofficepod. $3 a month gets you access to the after party at Poor Richard's tonight. In sort of like celebration of the awkwardness that we're going to talk about that happens with Jim in the middle of Kelly and Ryan. We talk about the awkwardness of like junior high romance and relationships that we had. All
And
that good
there's
stuff.
kissing involved.
Oh, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So check that out. $3 a month gets you access to that. Speaking of $3 a month Patreon, new $3 patron, Mr. Zach Malik.
I gotta tell you, this guy's got the
Malik.
best haircut I know.
Mr. Zachariah Malik.
Wait, can I tell a quick story about this guy that I know?
Yes, I
So
might tell a story after you.
Okay, last time we saw him, awesome hair, big old fro,
man.
like sticking straight up like a square.
Yeah.
And so told him that awesome hair. His response went to the barber and said, "You know Seinfeld? Do that."
He said, "You ever seen Seinfeld?" And the guy was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You know Kramer?" He's like, "Yeah, do that." And it looked
Sure enough,
so good.
it is
so good.
awesome.
There's not a lot of people who could pull off a
Nope.
handlebar mustache and Kramer hair, but this guy can
Our
do
friend
it.
Zach,
So
Wow.
amazing.
got it.
That's impressive.
So Zach, you're the man. Thank you. Speaking of Patreon, we also want to say a big shout out and a thank you and a we love you to all our patrons,
Every single one.
Yeah.
but also to our
amazing.
sponsors. We're talking about our $20 patrons, our assistants to the regional manager. Talking about Saf and Mr. Brian Gavesson.
It's so cool because our patrons are growing. Like we have a whole family, a
slew.
whole
That's
community of people now.
That's right.
Wow.
Which is so awesome.
Very
so
cool.
thank you,
Thank you guys.
all of you.
We do not take it for granted. We appreciate the support, and
Our
maybe
party
this is
keeps
like
getting bigger.
maybe this is like the serious sentimental moment. But
Yeah.
like
Adam's
honestly,
crying.
it means
Oh, boy.
it means a lot to us that you guys would support the show, tell people about the show, and that you would be willing to give your hard-earned money towards the show to make it better and to keep it moving and all that stuff. And so honestly,
it
we,
is so cool.
we don't take it for granted. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys. You're so awesome.
And it
You're
makes
the
this
best.
so much more fun
Yes.
to know that we have just
community.
a whole a crowd of people
That's
that
cool.
are out there rooting for
We like
us,
that.
listening, hanging out with us. Man, that's rad.
And especially we're 20 episodes in.
Telling you.
20.
Pretty
It's
crazy.
a big 20.
Pretty crazy. Speaking of that 5-star, let's get to it. So we got a 5-star review, 2 of them this week, but the first one we're going to read, it's from a user that their name is An Office Fan. 5 stars, and the title of the review is Amazing Podcast, and then it's got a big bod. This is kind of a big bod.
Give me the
one,
big,
so
big bod.
you want that big bod? That's what you're
Yeah.
looking
I just saw you like shake for a second.
Oh, yeah.
It's like give you chills.
Oh, baby. Okay, so this is what it says. I love
I like them big.
That's how we like our reviews. We like them big. We like them chunky.
Yeah.
So, fat bottom reviews make the world go round. Anyways, so that's what it says. I love listening to you guys and talk about The Office. Not many of my friends watch The Office, so I am so glad I came across people who share a common interest. Your Twitter page is so goofy and fun to watch. I can only say positive things about you guys, and I'm always glad to hear your voices. Like I said, I always love listening to you guys pick apart the show the way that you do. It's interesting to listen to all your points of view on the show, as well as some of the things that I missed. I love your show. I hope you keep up the good work. Thank you again.
Wow.
Yes.
Love it.
Very cool. Thank you.
That's what this
Office
podcast
fan.
really is for, because I feel like it's definitely for like you watch The Office, you enjoy it, and then you feel like wherever you're at, school, work, your family, like nobody else watches it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it with somebody.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to awkwardly bring it up.
Yeah.
I
like,
actually
yeah.
met somebody recently that didn't know anything about The Office and didn't like it, and I was like,
Boo.
I don't even
Can we
know
be
how
friends?
to relate to you right now. Like, I have no idea who you are. I just gotta go.
Dang it.
Oh no.
All right, so tonight we're going to break down Season 2, Episode 14, The Carpet. Usually we'd take a look at a prank that Jim pulled. He played it pretty straight this time. There was a prank.
Oh, but there was a prank.
pulled. But we'll take a look at the leaderboard and keep you updated on that. And then we're going to head over to that good subreddit over at Dunder Mifflin. Some sweet content that Adam Jones is bringing. You got something good for us tonight. I can feel it.
Oh, I have it, and anybody who's on Reddit has probably seen it.
Excellent. I think I know what it is.
Yeah.
But before we jump in there, a couple things. So last week, we meant to mention that we broke 2,000 downloads.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a big deal.
I meant to wear my party hat
That's
next
right.
week.
It's a
Your birthday suit?
it's an audio medium. We could
I
all
was
be.
going to say, just for you, Adam Jones, and then I was like, that would have
That's
been
awkward.
We actually all wearing party hats right now, and you can't prove that we're not. So there you go.
Yeah, you can't.
So we were going to mention last week we broke 2,000 downloads, but within a week, we're like almost at 2,500. So
Holy
It
crap.
is getting
yeah,
amazing.
and so we just
Wow.
you guys are awesome, and just we really appreciate you listening and sharing the show, like we said. So we need to do something big, maybe 5,000.
5,000
like,
should be
can we
big.
eat cake? That feels big.
Well,
Yeah,
we should eat cake, definitely 5,000. But I mean, at
How
1,000,
about a big cake?
at 1,000, we gave away a $20 Starbucks card.
Oh,
yeah,
big
we gotta
for
do
them.
something.
We could
5,000.
share cake.
5,000
We'll send you a
downloads.
piece of cake that we buy.
Yes, we will all bite a piece of cake and then send it to someone.
Yes. Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out what that's going to look like for 5,000. So we'll get you there. And then another quick thing I want to mention is this last week, my buddy Caleb, he launched a new podcast
Whoa.
called Nerds About. And it's basically like he invites on what he calls a content expert to take a deep dive into a topic. And so for his very first episode, he had me on there talking about podcasting.
Sweet.
Which was very cool. And we got to talk about this show a little bit and stuff like that. And so if you're interested in something like that, check it out on iTunes or Spotify. It's called Nerds About. We'll put a link in the show notes. Help him get a cool launch. Go leave him a review. Go give it a listen, and you can hear me nerd out about podcasting. So
Cool.
it's all that good behind the scenes stuff.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, you get to hear how the sausage is made. That's the worst
Ew.
way to talk about anything. Anyways, all right, you guys ready to jump in tonight?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. All right, here we go. So tonight, Jim plays matchmaker. Michael gets a special package. We get to meet Ed Truck for the first time. And Kevin can't hold his breath that long. This is The Carpet, Season 2, Episode 14 of The Office. All right, so the episode opens, and Jim is at his desk, and he does his usual sort of glance over to Pam, but she's not there. No, we see Ryan in her place.
Big old blue eyes.
That's right, the temp. And we find out that Pam is on vacation, and that they've set a date for the wedding. The wedding is in June. So
Sounds lovely.
things are moving. And then we cut over to Ryan in an interview where he's basically saying that Jim has been looking at him all week, and it's kind of weird. But it's not as weird as the way Michael looks at him. And then we cut back and we see him look over, and Michael's like staring at him through the blinds of his own office.
Yep.
And then when he sees that Ryan notices, he tries to play it cool.
Tries, being the key word. Tries.
He's very awkward.
Michael Scott has got a crush on Ryan.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, baby.
Yes.
So then, as we come back, Pam is back. Michael arrives at the office and calls her, and I quote, "Spamster."
Another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
How
like
do you feel about Spamster?
I don't mind it.
I like it.
Okay.
Cute.
That's good.
Okay. Better than
Spamster.
Hamburger with fries.
Spamster. No, hamburger
And
with
shake-
fries
No, that
is
was
still
probably my
great.
favorite.
Is that the best?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the best.
That's a good one still.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, we miss you, pranks. If you're listening, we miss your pranks around the
right.
office.
I was thinking about that the other day.
nobody has pranked us in a long time.
Except for now we're in different offices.
That's
so
right. We don't have to get into that, Adam Jones. It's
We
too
never
sad.
addressed
Too
it. I know you guys are
sad.
really sad without me.
Too sad.
Yeah. We fired him, by the way.
Yeah, he got fired.
No, I was not fired. I fired them.
That's right. We got fired.
Yeah.
It's a sad story. So he calls her spamster, and she tries to break this down, and we find out that it's Pam plus spam plus hamster.
Duh. Where's yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And Pam basically lets us know that she gets 10 vacation days a year. She tries to hold off
That
as
is
long.
not a lot.
That's not a lot. That's a little bit.
Oh wait, that's 2 weeks.
It's close to 2 weeks. Yeah. She basically said she tries to hold off as long as she can, and she made it to the end of January.
Yeah.
Good
For
job.
her.
Good job, Pam.
I get it.
Good job.
Break it up a
Because
little bit.
if she does that though, that really does mean it was a year since her last vacation. So
There you go. So Michael, after calling her the spamster, he heads to his office. He opens the door and realizes that there is something horrible has happened. There's a horrible smell. It's terrible. And he's afraid to go in, but he sees that there's something behind the desk. And the camera's sort of like trying to see, and we get like the tiniest glimpse. And it's like, did somebody vomit? Like, is that a dead bird? There's a lot of different things.
Yep.
They're trying to figure it out. Kevin actually goes in, and then Michael closes the door.
why he does that? I don't.
So
I
that the
don't
smell
know
doesn't
when,
leak out.
I don't know when I'm gonna stop asking why when it comes to Michael Scott. Like I don't understand the logic at all. If my friend went in to try and check something out for me, the last thing I would do is like close the door and then hold it closed. No, tell me first. Tell me. What
It's like sharing the information in the room somehow is going to be better than letting him out.
out,
I
yeah.
I
guess.
know.
And then Kevin just panics. I can't hold my
Sure.
breath that long. Poor Kevin.
I think I would just cry. Or no, I get pretty feisty. I think I would bang on the door and throw out a few curse words.
You would just put
All 4'11" of you would throw yourself
right.
at the door.
I put
thump.
if you follow us on Instagram, it would be a treat for you guys to see them imitating me in my kitchen today.
Oh yeah, go to Instagram and look at our stories.
And then you'll see the true behind the scenes.
It's only going to last for 24 hours. So if you're listening to this past July 23rd, you're not going to get to see it. So, sorry, everybody.
Sorry.
I'll save it in the highlights. How about that?
Oh,
Yeah.
dang it. Okay. That means it'll never disappear. So then eventually they let Kevin out, and then everybody holds their breath and tries to go in and see what this monstrosity is.
Sure.
And just, it's too bad. They gotta run out. But I love that Creed at this point shows up, and his response is, "Oh, hey, somebody making soup."
What does that tell you about Cree's mom?
Oh,
We're now getting like some answers to his family history here.
gosh. And so Michael talks about that they called the cleaning lady in to try and
That poor woman.
work on it, and but it's just still too stinky, and
Too stinky.
and then we have
Like, as a cleaning lady, is there a point where you can just say no? Like, hey, I know it's my responsibility to have janitorial duties, but this is too far. Can you do that?
like, this is out of my job description. I should not be subjected to the
Yeah.
horror of this.
You do it. That'd be my answer. Your turn.
Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm just going to take a really quick break here. In the middle of recording this,
Yes.
this is just a cool shout out. I got a thing on here that said a user on Instagram, Carter _ I think it's Botch, BAUTCH, wanted to send us a message, and he just says, "I'm a brand new viewer. I just started listening yesterday, and I'm so excited to catch up. I'm only on season 2, episode 4. Thanks again for all the laughs."
Oh,
So,
nice.
It's like
Very
another
good.
5-star without
boom,
the 5-star.
Carter.
Very
Thank
good.
you, my
Carter.
friend. You're not going to be expecting this, but boom, there it is.
But
Yeah,
boom.
good to hear from you.
Isn't that the night? Boom,
you
there it is.
caught us
Yes.
right when we were recording. And what that means is he probably saw the stories of you guys imitating
Making fun of it,
Andy's.
yeah.
See? We're funny. We're the funny ones.
Carter,
Whose side are you on?
I was just getting ready to say that.
Oh, that's why we married each
Obviously,
other,
he's on
guys.
our side because he said thanks for all the laughs. High five.
Ah,
Adam Jones.
yeah. Making people laugh.
There you go.
Whatever. I still like you, Carter.
Anyways, speaking of making soup, so the cleaning lady tries to go in. It's too stinky. So now we have a clip here because Michael, he's a big fan of Fear Factor. He tries to put on a brave face.
Loves Joe Rogan.
That's right. Let's check this out.
Total permeation.
I am a big Fear Factor fan. I'm a big fan of anything Joe Rogan does, actually. So this is sort of like my audition tape.
So uncomfortable.
I can't stand it.
He's leaving. Now,
Stay in here another second.
What I love about that video is it wouldn't show anything for Fear Factor. They don't know how smelly it is in there.
okay, that for sure. But you know what? The other thing that's interesting about that clip
What?
that's different than any other interview we've seen Michael is in the office.
Yes.
With the door closed.
Yeah.
Braving it. But as he's leaving, it zooms out. Even the cameraman
is
outside of
yes.
the office.
I love that little touch. Good
so
attention
good.
to detail.
Oh, it's so good. So then Jim arrives, and he sees that Pam is back, and they have a cool little interaction. We see that the warehouse guys are cleaning out Michael's office, pulling out the furniture. We get a little interview where Jim basically says, "It wasn't me. I didn't do it." And then we cut to the temp, who is just
he's laughing,
hysterically
Sure.
laughing, and is like,
yes.
"No, really, I didn't do it." Like he seems almost like the prime suspect at this point.
at the time, yeah, for sure.
Well, 1, Michael has a crush on him. 2, he's bored. 3, he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Like there's so many reasons.
If anybody's gonna have access, like
sure.
unhindered access to Michael's office, it's gonna be Ryan.
Michael would let him probably have a key to his house.
Oh my God, he's just loving it so much. So then Michael is outside sitting at Jim's desk, and he wants to be desk buddies. Jim mentions that there's a desk open in the back. We're assuming is back near Toby. And Michael's like, "No, I really don't mind sharing." And then Jim just decides
I would not be happy.
He'll take the desk in
Well,
the back.
the truth is, like, how do you get your job done sharing a computer? Not that Michael's actually working.
There's one phone.
But...
You know, it's almost weird. Jim's seems almost a little moody, but like a Jim prank would be, okay, I'm going to sit next to Michael and I'm going to share a desk with him the whole day.
Sure.
And like just troll him. Like, okay, now it's my turn to use the mouse.
But if
okay,
I'm
you use the keyboard, I use the mouse. Like something like funny like that.
Yeah.
If I'm Jim at that moment, I'm not thinking of Michael Scott and how I can get back to him. I'm thinking the girl that I like is back and I just want to talk to her. And
but
this
I can't.
guy's standing between it.
Yeah. Well, and that's I think that's kind of the key here is that she's been gone.
Yep.
She's finally back. And when she's finally back, like,
he doesn't have his desk. Yeah, that's kind of sad.
Dang it, Jim. So then Jim heads to the back. He decides to take the desk that's right next to Kelly, and we find out that Toby used to sit there, but then he had to move because of an allergy. And Jim is like, a desk allergy? Yeah, it's so weird.
He moved like 5 feet over.
What name? Like what letter of the first name do you think he's really allergic to? Who is he allergic to?
Toby?
Yeah.
Kelly.
What
I don't
letter
know why
of
I
his,
was
of
trying
the
to be
name?
secretive about it.
Like she's listening right now?
I'm loyal to Kelly, and I didn't want her to like
You don't want her to
hear
know?
what we're saying.
Oh my
gosh.
So yeah, I just befriended Kelly in my mind
Excellent.
and didn't want to betray her. So there it is.
Yikes.
Kelly, I like you.
So then Michael and Dwight, we go back to the bullpen, and Michael and Dwight are kind of chilling there. And it's obvious that Michael is sort of like reliving the glory days a little bit of like when he was in the sales.
Yes,
and,
yeah.
You know, maybe he could have a little more fun and all that. He talks about how they have it so easy out there that like when he's in his office, there's so much stress.
There's so much stress and pressure.
That's
The
right.
amount of times I have to watch Ryan just be
Yeah.
there, all cool,
Like I can't
and
be
a little
next
good
to him.
looking.
I have to be behind my blinds spying on him. I can't just
So
yes,
hard.
yes.
I feel you, Michael.
He talks about the previous manager, Ed Truck, and how he was no fun, that he was like the fun killer, and that and that he
That's
like
what we call Adam.
he wants to be. That's oh man.
I am
killer.
such a What's worse is like you didn't give it back. You just kind of not. That's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, that's what my badge says.
Security threat, fun killer.
Fun killer.
Dang it. And Michael talks about how that for him as a manager, like what he aspires is he wants people to laugh when they see him coming.
Believe me, Michael, they do.
And then applaud when he walks away.
Again, believe me, Michael, they do.
So what's interesting, I also noticed, during this part of this clip, when he's talking about Ed Truck, they flash to another newsletter, and it's a picture of like Michael Scott with a mullet, totally 80s, shaking hands with Ed Truck, and like the headline is like, Michael Scott, salesman, breaks record, blah, 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 something like that.
Yeah.
But I went ahead and paused it.
Okay, yeah.
It is exactly the same newsletter template from when they talked about the 80s party.
Oh.
And remember how we broke it down and it was like, oh, if you just put words, it looks like a newsletter, but we're not really sharing any information.
Same thing.
It's exactly the same one.
Oh, that's great.
Everything is the same. They just change the headlines in one picture. So it's so good.
Great.
They zoom really quick, so that, they wouldn't expect you to see it. But I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I don't think I looked that closely at it.
Yeah. So we head back to the annex. Is that what that
Yeah, the
area is
annex,
called?
yeah.
And Kelly is just annoying the crap out of Jim. And then we find out from Michael that we go back to the bullpen and we find that Michael's sitting at Jim's desk and he's telling Dwight that Todd Packer used to sit right there
Yes.
where Dwight was.
Yeah.
And Dwight was like, I thought he was on the road all the time. And he's like, well, he was, but sometime he would pop in and visit and he would sit there.
Desk was empty. Yeah.
And then Michael starts to sort of run down some of the awesome things that Packer did. One day, he and Michael spent the entire day with their pants off in the office.
Sure.
Excellent.
I feel like I had a friend in high school who would have done that with me if we were working at the same job.
How
together.
would he have convinced you to do that, though?
Just spend the day
like,
with your pants
what
off.
would he have said that was attractive enough for you to say that would be fun?
I don't know, but I just know that I'm just like thinking in my head, like I know one person that.
He's your Todd Packer.
Yeah,
Like, he
he's
can
my Todd
convince you to
Packer,
do
that's
anything
right.
Oh my
just by
gosh.
saying it and
Yep.
peer pressure.
Yep, and be like, oh yeah.
Do you have one of those, Rob? You can't say me.
No, I mean, not a friend who would do things that were inappropriate, but I did have a friend. I shared this story with you recently. I did have a friend
I still
who
laugh about this.
would do things that would like I feel like I was like a pretty like straight edge student. Like I would
Yeah.
try to
Sure.
be good.
Yeah.
He still
And I had
likes
this
folks.
friend who would constantly like try to do things that would like get us in trouble. And the one thing that I shared with her recently is, and it sounds so stupid. We were in 8th grade English. Okay. And I was in school with this guy from like probably 4th grade all the way to the end of high school.
Wow.
And we hung out the whole time. And we're still friends on social media. He lives in California, and he would know who he is when I tell the story. We're sitting in this English class, and I'm really trying to pay attention. And this is like a teacher that I respect and like that I'm cool with.
Of course.
And I'm really trying to pay attention. And he's sitting next to me, and he's like messing with me and like throwing stuff at me and like poking me and doing all this stuff because he knows that I'm going to be going like, dude, knock it off. Stop. Stop it. You know, I'm like... So then eventually the teacher, his name was Mr. Streets.
Mr.
Oh,
Streets.
he was
Mr.
cool.
Streets.
He was the cool teacher.
Wow.
I imagine like curly haired mullet and like
Totally.
nice looking face.
Like Boy
muscles.
Meets World. Like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Matthews, what are you doing?
There you go. That's
my
who's in my
gosh.
brain right now.
So of course I'm sitting there, knock it off, stop. And eventually the teacher's like, Mr. Lambert, why don't you join me after class since you can't seem to keep it down? And I'm like, dang it, dude, I get so mad. And so as the class continues, he, of course, my buddy is having a great time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's your problem, man? And he looks at me and he says, and I went by Robert.
Yeah.
He goes, and he said it just like this, Robert, you needed a thrill. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I would not get detention. I'm not going to get in trouble. I'm not going to get written up, any of this stuff. And he's like, you needed a thrill.
And now every opportunity I get, I say that. Robert, you needed a thrill.
I feel like my wife would tell me that.
It made
too.
me so mad. Oh my gosh. So yeah.
Wow.
It was no pants off all day, but yeah, I needed a thrill.
I
Apparently.
mean, how many opportunities do you get to have pants off all day?
Yeah.
When you're a bachelor.
I guess
you can-
honeymoon.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, bachelor.
Save it for Patreon. Okay, so we find out he's running down some of the awesome things. They used to spend the day with their pants off. One time, Packer banged all the chicks in the office as a joke.
As a joke.
And it was
yeah.
hilarious.
It's a funny joke. Yeah.
I'm sure all those ladies thought it was so funny.
Oh my gosh. And then Michael is kind of like going around and like he's having fun, but having fun means being a jerk to everyone.
Yes.
He's like making fun of Stanley while Stanley's on the phone.
Yep.
And then he goes and he punches Creed.
Yes. He gives it a Charlie horse.
Yeah, Charlie horse. Which, once again, Creed of sound mind.
Yeah, I noticed that throughout this whole episode. He doesn't break loose
No.
yet.
He's like, why did you hit me, Michael?
Yeah, yeah.
How dare you?
I'm still dreaming of that soup.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, where is
Still
that
wondering
soup?
when that soup's
I
going to be
just
done.
came in. I thought we were going to have soup, and now you're hitting me, Michael. So then we go back to the annex, and Kelly is just... She's running off this list, which I'm assuming is maybe like a list of her favorite things.
Yeah.
Who knows?
guess-
Or it's just Kelly saying words.
Because she says, pink the
She's
color.
like, look what I could say.
Not necessarily in this order. Pink the color. Pink the person.
Sure.
Beyonce.
Always.
Hot dogs.
Okay.
Pretty much anything that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's all the context we get.
Hot dogs is the one thing that doesn't really fit.
And for whatever reason, all those things explains Kelly.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally. So then we find out that Kelly wants Jim to see if Ryan likes her. And she proceeds to just say, please, Jim, please.
Please.
Please, Jim. Please, please, please.
Please, Jim.
Please, Jim.
Please.
Please.
Please,
Please, Jim. Jim, please, please.
Jim, please.
And like
And at this point, we're all like, Jim, please.
whoa,
Whoa.
our
Oh,
ears.
sorry, guys.
And like all of our listeners, in this very moment, Jim too is in hell. And you just see
Ooh,
this
my
look on
ears.
We just joined him in there.
you see this look on his face where he's just like, oh my gosh. So then we go back to the bullpen, and Mike is talking with Dwight, and he says, hey, how about an old-fashioned raid on accounting? And Dwight is like, I don't know what this is, but I'm all about it.
Always. Michael's idea, Dwight's like,
Yeah,
yes.
Dwight's in.
Yeah, if we're going to be buddy-buddy, and I'm going to be like in the inner circle,
Okay,
yes.
frankly, if somebody was like, how about a raid on so-and-so, I'd be like, yes.
Yeah, no, I would want to do
I
that.
mean, so yeah, in this case, I get it.
You need
Sure.
a little,
That
you
does
need a
sound
little
fun.
thrill.
Yeah, you needed a thrill. But here's the deal. For Michael, an old-fashioned raid basically consists of just going and throwing their things everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, is there a better way? Is there a better way to raid a department? Like, if you were going to go on a raid, Andy, you're a pranker,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
prankster.
Professional.
If you're like,
If somebody said, let's
if you say,
raid,
hey, Rob, hey, Adam, you need a thrill. How about an old-fashioned raid on so-and-so? What would we do?
I don't think I would mess everything up and throw it around like they did. I think I would wait until they walked away, and then I would go and switch everything around, like make it opposites.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like turn their pictures upside down and that sort of thing, where I wouldn't really mess it up, and it would take them a hot second to figure out, something's different.
second.
So everything stays in place,
Sure.
but things are just slightly skewed.
Different.
So it's kind of like it's a slow burn all day.
Or
Like
I
they look
would,
at a picture of their sweetheart
depending
and they're
on
like,
how much
it's
time,
flipped over.
Yeah, like
oh, wow.
backwards. Or
Oh.
depending on how much time I would have, I would switch it. So I would like move everything to the left. So if I was Angela, I would come to all of Stanley's stuff at my desk or something like that.
Okay.
So raid to me would be like switch it around or physically like move everybody's spaces.
Dig it. That's
That's
much
what I would do.
much better than just
Yeah.
throwing things.
I won't be rude. I would just be
Um,
a bit of a challenge.
so Michael is just having the time of his life. He's like, it's like he's back in sales.
Oh, yeah.
He's not the boss anymore. He's just having a great time. And then I love that.
Oh, wait, I love that for Michael, just being out of his office means he's no longer the boss.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Well, and I love that for Dwight, doing a raid on Angela meant just grabbing
The
one pen
pencil.
and then just
Yep. And think,
And then, like, eye contact.
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want to.
I have to do this.
Nobody's going to catch on to what we're doing. So then we go to a quick interview with Oscar, who is once again hysterically laughing and saying that what happened in Michael's office was wrong. It makes sense,
But it was
but
wrong.
yes, it's wrong.
Yes.
So then Michael basically talks about how this could be done out of hate. It could have been done out of love. It could be neutral. Maybe it was done for somebody who hated the cleaning lady because she did a horrible job. And then I love, because I'm pretty sure it's at that point that we get a clip of her still trying to clean it up, and then the camera pans up to her face and she looks so sad.
I know.
Yeah.
She's like, I
I'm sad for her.
didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to dust and vacuum and throw some trash. I didn't know I was going to.
That is like one of my
Pick
jobs
up
used to be as a
whatever this is.
janitor.
No.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like listeners might think sometimes I like just throw out random
That
jobs.
was a weak
but
high
I've-
five.
I could
that
hear
was a
that.
good one.
Aha!
No, there you go. Wait, so you were a janitor?
In a later part of high school and some of college.
What was the
How did
worst?
you get the job?
Is this a Patreon?
No,
Is this a Patreon
no, I
conversation?
just want to hear
Nah.
this
Okay.
now.
In celebration of 2,000 downloads.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is
this
the
for you.
worst thing? Keep it snappy. But
It's
what is
just-
the worst thing that you had to
It's
do?
just like cleaning like toilets that are really plugged are really bad, and then when you try to plunge them, they're so full that then they overflow, and then you have to like, that's the worst.
Then you have to change your clothes because it went all over you.
No, I didn't have anything that not that bad. No.
Okay, wait. I do want to know, like, how did you get the job? What were you a janitor for?
Oh, it was nothing spectacular. I was a janitor at my church.
Okay, so my parents owned a carpet and janitorial business, and so they had staff that would go and do the actual cleaning.
Yeah.
That staff consisted of me when I was in high school.
Yeah,
I was one of them. So
like before and after the carpet switch? Is that what you're saying?
What do you mean? No. Any company, any business. So they had offices and stuff. So Michael Scott might have called my parents, and then my parents would send a regular person on like a Thursday to clean their office, like that sort of thing.
Okay.
And so I would have like an office or two to clean as one of their staff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Wow.
So then Michael says, no, you know what? This was an act of terrorism in the office.
You know?
In his office.
Yeah.
It feels that way.
Yeah.
If I were a terrorist, I would. That
ISIS.
seems right up
The
right up the
Taliban.
alley of what I would do.
Taliban.
So then we go back out to the bullpen, and Dwight is trying to be the
107.
107th caller to Rock 107. And I love that Michael stops him. You have to stop. And then he goes for the phone again. I need to make a sales call.
Yeah.
Please, Michael. Am I the 107th?
Yeah. What I think is so
wanna
funny is,
know.
what is it that triggers Michael? Because Michael does tons of more
I
like
wanna know what it is
worse
gonna win.
things.
Yeah, what do you think
Is it
that's
a
Why
going
is
to
it
box
worth
set?
it?
Is it a box set? That's
Is that what it said? A
What's
box
a box
set?
set?
But I don't know a box set of what.
If it's Dwight, I mean, it's going to be some sweet like 80s
Yeah.
hair
Rock.
metal,
Mhm.
yes,
Yeah.
box set. He had every right to be
Sure.
To be one.
trying
to
to
get
get
What's
that.
funny is he was doing it in front of his boss. I'd be all sly about it.
Think about all the things that that's what Adam is
That's what I'm saying,
all
like-
the things that they just got done running over to accounting and throwing things everywhere.
And creating
but
extra
him
work.
making a phone call to try and win a box set was too far.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
geez.
weird.
So then Jim is in the kitchen. He's getting coffee. He starts to head back to the annex and then sees that Kelly is like primed and ready for another conversation.
Oh, yeah.
So he just goes into the men's room.
Well, he sees that Pam and Roy are talking on the
Oh, that's
other
right.
end.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so he gets squished
Ouch.
and
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever had a crush on a person who belonged to somebody else?
Whoa.
Why are you so offended by that question, Rob?
This feels like entrapment.
Just trying to get out of you.
I obviously mean pre-marriage, but if there's something we need to talk about, I guess I'm open to that too. Live on
things
the
we
air,
can talk
folks.
about.
You heard it here
Oh my
first.
gosh.
I feel it. No, I feel
Have
like
you been
that's
in a love triangle, Adam Jones? That's what she's
not a love triangle. No, it's not that.
Have you ever had a crush on somebody that belonged to somebody else?
I feel like back in high school, probably, yeah, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Probably.
Have you ever heard the song Jesse's Girl? That's what that's about.
See?
There you go.
So
Yeah.
you had a crush on Jesse's girl?
Yeah. Everybody did.
Yeah.
You know what? If I'm being honest, I had a crush on somebody that belonged to somebody
She's
else,
loving-
and then I married him, and then I stole him.
Forever.
She's
Yeah.
loving him with that body, and I just know it. That's a
bod.
line from a song, by the way.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa!
Isn't that a little bit creepy? Like,
Did
this
we
is a
just
celebrated-
lose our rating?
This is a celebrated like 80s like rock ballad that like people dance to and have a great time. He says the words, "She's loving him with that body, I just know it."
Wow.
He's like,
Come on,
with
Rick
binoculars,
Springfield, what are
like,
you doing?
Creeper.
And now we know how Jim feels.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
Loving him with that body.
Oh, I wish that I had Roy's girl. How can I find a spamster like that? Okay. So then we go back to the bullpen. See that right there?
Yeah,
She's Andy's
You guys
laughing,
can
that laugh where no sound comes out, and I love
Yep.
it. That's my favorite right there.
she'll be back in about 30 seconds or so.
Oh, it's the best. So I like to believe our whole audience is doing that right now. Anyways, so then Michael, back in the bullpen, he's like, you know what? It's time for an old-fashioned sales contest.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gonna put a crisp
Crisp $100.
$100. But then, as Daryl was walking in, he's like, you know what? Actually,
No, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
put that there.
I'm gonna put it
it on my desk
right
where
here
I
where I
can
can
see it.
and I don't have
crisp,
100.
It's not a crisp 100 either.
$83.
Because when I watched this, and I've seen this so many times, but I was just rewatching, I'm like, man, Michael carries around $100 bills in his wallet, and then I see him counting the bills, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh no,
No.
he doesn't
That's
actually
Michael.
mean that.
What was I thinking?
Yeah, of course not.
And then, like, those of you who have gone through the series a couple of times like us, and now you know Daryl, I'm offended on his behalf. Like, I
Yeah,
love
Daryl's a
Daryl.
nice guy,
Yeah, he
but
has.
you don't know anything about him in this.
Yeah.
you know,
Sure.
Yeah,
except for what Michael is judging him on.
pretty much. And so for the sales contest, Michael says, "I'm going to take Jim's clients." Do you think he's going to take credit for the sales, or is he going to give the sales to
I don't
Jim?
know
Oh, he totally
how
would
that
take credit.
works.
Have you met Michael Scott?
Yeah, that's true.
Have you?
So then we cut back to Jim. He looks into the break room and sees Pam is eating lunch with Roy. So he's just going to avoid that whole lunchtime crowd. He's just kind of the lonely loner.
Hey,
Today.
when you're
Yeah,
stuck in the annex,
the
what,
lonely
what
loner.
else are you going
That's
to do?
right.
Yeah.
And then Michael makes a big sale and just gloats. We get some sweet dance moves.
Mm-hmm.
He takes the Post-it with the information and puts it on Phyllis's face.
I love anything with Phyllis. Just makes me extremely happy. He puts it like on her face, and I don't know how to describe it over a podcast. She like backs up and like it's almost like when you put like something on a dog,
like when you put like a piece of bologna on a cat's head.
yeah, or sure, yeah,
What-
And they just they keep recoiling.
Please tell me when you have had the opportunity to put bologna on a cat's
Just
head.
it's on the internet. Just look at or like cheese.
No, here's what this is.
When people did the baby throwing like
Yes.
cheese on a baby,
Yes.
they did it to cats.
Who are you people?
It's like throwing
Yeah.
cheese on a cat's head.
or with a dog, you put peanut butter, like you let them lick it, and sometimes they get on their nose, and so they have to try and like lick their nose, and they're like constantly like backing up. Yeah, trying to get under it, and that's what she does.
So good. She doesn't even try to remove it. Oh, dang it, Phyllis. So then
I feel like everybody in their life has an Aunt Phyllis.
I
Maybe.
wish I
Can you
did.
imagine? I think I know. I can't say their name on the air, but I have an Aunt Phyllis.
oh, you kind of do.
I do. I have an Aunt Phyllis.
Wow. That just changed
You
everything.
don't-
I'm never
Do
going to see her
you?
the same
Can
way
you
again.
think of an Aunt Phyllis?
An Aunt Phyllis? I think we had a third cousin
Like
who was like
wow.
Phyllis-y.
cousin Phyllis.
Yeah,
You
kind of.
don't have a relative Phyllis.
No.
But here's
Not
the
that I can
interesting
think
thing
of.
though.
Missing it.
Your Aunt Phyllis, in
Sure.
quotes,
Sure.
sort of has a Bob Vance refrigeration for a husband. Actually,
Oh wow.
Yes, absolutely.
interesting.
Oh, I am related to this couple, and I like it.
That's awesome.
Try it next time you see him. Put a post-it note on her face.
See what happens.
See how
See what
she
she
No,
does.
she would kill you.
Oh, she would.
She would not be okay
She's
with it.
scary, Aunt
Yeah.
Phyllis.
Yeah, that's true. So then Michael is complaining about how long Roy and Daryl are taking to like clean out and like pull the carpet and like get everything done in his office.
Yeah.
It's taking so long. And then we get like a glimpse, like they've obviously pulled the shades,
Yeah.
and we get a glimpse kind of into the office, and they're just like passed out having beer.
They can do that though, because if you remember the basketball episode, like they don't care what Michael thinks.
Yeah.
They kind of just do their own thing.
Oh
so
my gosh.
There's
Which-
nothing Michael can do
also,
about it.
I thought about this as I was watching this episode. It's a little strange to me. If there was something wrong with the carpet and it had to be replaced, you don't take your warehouse workers and have them strip the carpet.
Sure.
But like you just call up carpet people and have them put a new
Yeah.
carpet, or
I
the
feel like-
landlord, or
Yeah.
Ring, ring. Hello, carpet people.
To me,
carpet
this
people.
feels like something that Daryl would be like, "No, Michael, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Oh.
We got things to do. We got trucks coming in."
Honestly, they don't. Unless they like being upstairs, what
That's
else are
what I
they
was
going to
thinking.
do?
Or-
All you
Yeah.
have to do is cut out some carpet.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that I'm connecting the dots, I feel like Daryl would say, "We'll do it, but you're going to owe us a big favor."
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and the big
But at the
favor is
same time-
beers in his office.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think even if it was like, "Hey, I need you guys to do this," and say, "Oh, like, yeah, you owe us a big favor." Even so, I think both Roy and Daryl are thinking we can get away with so much up here, and it's much better than being down there.
Loading trucks.
Yeah,
and-
so like we can definitely take long breaks, and our guys are never gonna know.
Sure.
Like, we're just up here chilling.
Totally.
So
That's awesome. So then we cut back out to the bullpen, and Creed and Oscar are kind of over by the water cooler, and they're making some jokes about who did it. I thought you did it. No, I thought you did it.
yeah.
And Michael's starting to realize
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past Creed.
it does.
Oscar, that would
His suit-
blow my mind.
Yes.
Creed,
I don't know though. Not current Creed. This doesn't feel like a Creed move yet. I think there's a time.
that would be intro real Creed.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. They're joking about who did it. Michael realizes somebody in the office did this.
Sure.
This was not, and I quote, an act of God.
Yeah.
God
This was
didn't come and
planned.
poop on my carpet.
That's right. And because of that, Michael is
Shocker.
like a little bit Like it spoiled the mood. He's like, we're
Yeah.
going to cancel the sales contest.
He's not happy.
He's been a victim of a hate crime. Stanley knows what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Sure.
That's not what a hate crime is.
Exactly. That was a good
Well,
scene.
I hated it. That's how Michael defines a hate crime, is
There you
that
go.
he hated it.
And he says if the guilty person will just come forward, this all can end. And since nobody does,
What would he do about that? What if somebody did? I might be the one in the office that would try it out and be like, oh, I wonder what Michael would do. I did it.
it was me.
It was me.
The worst he's going to do is put you in a timeout.
That's
I know,
right,
what would he
apparently.
do?
Because he decides to punish everybody, and that means everybody is on timeout, and they need to sit quietly. Which I love that then Phyllis's phone rings for work, and he's like, no.
No. You're in a
Don't
timeout.
you dare do your
no
job,
sales.
woman.
Oh my God. Because an office can't function unless people are at their desk doing their jobs.
Doing their jobs.
There you go.
Or being punished and doing nothing.
There you go. So then Jim and Ryan are in the kitchen, and Jim asks about Kelly. Ryan is interested, but he sort of needs Jim to be kind of the go-between, like find out, like, does she want something long-term? Is she just cool with just hanging out? Which we find out that she is definitely about long-term.
Yes,
She wants
absolutely.
babies and all that stuff. So then Michael...
But don't tell him that.
That's right. Keep it on the down low. So then Michael is talking to Creed about Ed Truck, and Michael says that he's afraid of becoming Ed Truck. Like that's his biggest fear.
Right.
To which Creed says,
A very successful manager.
that should not be your biggest fear, Michael. To which Michael responds, well, obviously. I mean, it's not as bad as being buried alive, but
Exactly.
Ed Truck. But then Michael decides to call for all the things about Ed Truck that he's been talking crap about.
Yeah, he doesn't like him.
He gives Ed Truck a call and wants to meet with him and decides to meet him in the back alley. Let's check out this clip.
Ed, hi, thanks for meeting me. Must be kind of neat coming back.
Yeah, should we go upstairs?
Oh, well, honestly,
Ed is
I
eyeing
really
up
don't want to
the
be up
cameras.
there
Yeah.
So, what's the problem with my pension?
right now. Oh, no, you're good. It was clerical. You're good. Well, somebody did something in my office, and I now think that they did it on purpose, and it was directed at me.
Well, what was done?
I didn't get a good look at it, but it smells horrible.
Yeah, somebody once did that in my office.
Really? Well, that figures. So, how did you deal with people not
Good
liking
wisdom
you?
from
You
Ed
can't
Truck.
expect to be friends with everybody.
Well, sure I can.
No, they'll always think of you as a boss first.
Not necessarily. You can love a boss like you do a father.
I'm not sure that ever happens.
Well, okay. Different management styles.
Why
Yeah.
can't your workers be your workers? Family be your family, your friends be your friends.
Last week I would have given a kidney to anyone in this office. I would have reached right into my stomach and pulled it out for them. But now, no. I don't have the relationship with these people that I thought I did.
These people.
I hope they ask. So they can hear me say, no. I only give my organs to my real friends. Get yourself a monkey kidney.
It's weird terminology that Ed uses. He says, why can't your workers be your workers? What boss says
Your
workers?
workers.
These are my workers.
Let your workers be your workers.
My worker bees.
Your family be
boss.
your family.
He called me that one time.
Your friends
He
be your
knows.
friends.
Listen, worker.
Hey, worker.
Hey, worker, get to work, you working
I just thought
worker.
that was it. I
You
do like the way
working
that he
in all
acts
the
it out,
works.
though. Ed was in the office managing when this supposed camera crew wasn't there documenting this.
Yeah.
And he gets there, and you can see him look at the camera.
Like, why is there cameras?
looks
We're
like,
in a
why are
back
there-
alley by
yeah,
a dumpster. Why are there
the cameras here? Yeah, yeah, I like it.
I do think it's interesting that Ed Truck says somebody did that in my office back in the day.
Oh, it was Todd.
Was
It was Todd.
maybe?
Oh, I think
Yeah.
it was Todd.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
because he wasn't even there, so who would guess it? Same
Yeah.
thing here. Todd is not in the office.
Yeah.
So perfect
Love it.
crime.
I love it. So then the episode's starting to wrap up. Jim is on the phone. He's calling Brenda. Do you remember Brenda from the Bruce Cruise?
Yes, Brenda.
Apparently,
yeah.
we've been on a booze cruise.
Yeah.
So Brenda from the booze cruise, he's calling her and asking her out via voicemail.
But
I don't remember Brenda.
he's doing it just to show Kelly what to do, though, right? Like that's what you're supposed to
What
think.
do you mean show Kelly what to
So
do?
here's
I don't think so.
really
Wait, what do you mean by
okay.
that?
Here's how I see the scene. I think is that he really wants Kelly to get Ryan's number and talk to him from the employee directory. So he's like, what if I just do a fake?
jump.
What if I just do a fake phone? That's how I've always watched this scene.
Really?
That's how I've always thought it. Because I'm like, Jim's not that stupid to like call and ask somebody out over the phone. That's what I think.
Okay, I forget who Brenda is.
Okay, so from the Booze Cruise episode,
Yeah.
there was Brenda from corporate who was there sort of with Michael, and he was like, she's here to like glean some of my wisdom from the presentation. And then on the
okay.
Booze Cruise, she was the one that's like, hey, we should get this rolling.
Yeah.
So like we saw her a little bit, but
Sure.
we didn't get too much information about her.
Okay.
I took this scene as he's been separated from Pam.
Yeah.
He sees that Pam and Roy are looking
Yeah,
good.
he's
Yeah.
a little
They've went
upset.
on vacation. He's missing her. He's feeling lonely.
Yeah.
He broke up with his girlfriend. He met Brenda on the Booze Cruise, and he's a little bit desperate because of how bad he's feeling.
Yeah.
Because the way that Kelly is like, you just asked somebody out over the phone, and he's like, yep. And then he's like, oh my God, I just asked somebody out over the phone.
And I guess I do see that, but here's why I think. Maybe our listeners will have to DM us and tell us what they think.
Yeah.
He specifically says in that voicemail, I found your number on the employee directory because that's like, he says something like, because anybody can find the number on there. So I'm thinking he's like trying to like hint at Kelly behind
Sure.
him, like find Ryan's number and talk to him.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
And then he says, yeah, and you can find my number in the
In the same said directory. Right. So that's why I think he's like
maybe.
making a fake phone call.
Is it weird though that he would like call somebody from corporate
But
and
I don't-
legitimately ask them out?
But
Or do you think it was fake?
I think he's doing like dialing the number and then like pressing the hang up button and then
But
just
why
talking.
wouldn't they show
Oh.
us that?
I don't know, but I think I want to see what our listeners say. If our listeners are on, you have to DM us and
Yes.
tell us what you think. This
Okay,
scene
we
is.
want to hear what you
Okay,
think,
okay,
but then
hold
this
on.
is something.
I gotta Instagram this.
This is something that we will also pay attention in coming episodes.
Sure.
We'll see. Okay, is there something that follows up on this? Because that is interesting. Because I didn't think about it that way. I thought it was legit that he's asking Brenda.
I don't
out.
remember if I guess I'll have to rewatch these again and see if anything does come up.
Okay, sweet. All right, we'll see what happens. That's awesome.
Yeah, they got to DM us
Yes, DM us. Let us know what you think on that.
and say Adam's right.
We'll talk about it next week. Actually,
We
Sure,
have
yeah.
the answer for you. Adam's right.
give us the DMs. Let us know what you think regarding Brenda. Is it fake? Is it real?
Right.
And then next week we'll talk about it and
Yeah.
we'll let the people decide.
Let the people.
That's
We're
right.
democracy.
So then Michael is at the desk. The phone rings and he takes a call, and the person says, "I'm looking for a gay nerd named Michael Scott."
Yeah.
And suddenly it's Todd Packer.
Sure.
And he wants to know, Michael, did you get the package that I left you in your office? And Michael's like, what? Did you guys see a package? Yeah, it's a pretty big package. I left it right in the middle of your office.
Yeah.
And it dawns on Michael, Packer's the one who did the thing
Had
on
it
his
been
carpet.
anybody else, he would be so stinking upset.
Yeah. But it's
Packer, he's actually like flattered. Like,
He
oh,
loves it.
Wow,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm so honored.
He's like, it's amazing. Oh,
If
Yep.
your friend did that to you guys, how would you respond?
Here's the thing though.
I would get.
I kind of a little bit understand.
Oh, let's do it, Adam.
I
Oh
kind of a
my
little bit
gosh.
No, but like
Why-
not,
why?
not,
How-
not like
how are you
completely,
so-
but somewhat. Like sometimes it's like the person who does it like sometimes can change it. Not like totally like this,
Sure.
but you get what I'm saying.
There's
like,
like somebody could take a dump in the middle of a room and you're like, this is they are accosting me. But then it could be like somebody takes a dump and you're like, it's endearing.
You're
Not-
like, oh,
no,
it's
okay,
just Joe
yeah.
Smo.
No,
Joe
not
always
follow-
takes dumps everywhere. I'm so
Oh,
flattered he chose
Joe.
me
normal
this
for
time.
Joe.
Oh my gosh.
This is just a very unhealthy extreme of that point. with
I
Packer.
still, Adam, I want to know who in your life would do something so offensive that you're like, oh, it's just so and so. That's fine.
I don't think I could think of anything practically, but I'm like in a small sense of saying, oh, I kind of get what he's thinking.
How do we test this out, Rob Lambert? And like,
I
how do we
don't
think
even-
of a
You leave a
prank?
package in my office.
I feel like I have a friend who would do this, and then when I
And
found
then
out
you
it
would
was
say,
them,
Robert, you needed a thrill.
exactly, exactly. So Michael is suddenly like, he loves it. It was awesome. Way to go for Packer. And we have a clip here, and we find out why Michael sort of understands even if no one else does. So check this out.
Oops.
Oh my God, it was Packer.
It takes an advanced sense of humor. I don't expect everybody to understand.
Sure.
It was done out of love, just like I thought. It's, God, these people are these are good people. We have fun. We just have fun. Oh, I'm just so sorry that I threw the thing out.
I was just gonna keep it, frame it, and save it in my office.
Oh, he's going to put it in a shadow box.
Yeah.
Emphasis on the shat. Anyways, so then as the episode wraps up, the day is ending. Jim is leaving. Most everybody else is gone as well, including Pam. But as he's passing his desk, he notices that there's a message waiting for him. The light is flashing, and so he goes ahead and hits it. He's not been at his desk all day. And we find out that he has 7 new messages.
Oh, boy.
They are all from Pam, including after she left and she's calling from her cell phone.
Back then, you still counted minutes, so it
That's
was
right.
important.
And so it's Jim was missing Pam all day. But it's kind of clear that Pam was missing
Oh,
Jim
she was
all day,
missing him for sure.
And after a crazy day, Jim leaves once again with a smile on
Oh,
his
he
face.
leaves happy. The whole day he was depressed, but he was
Sure.
happy.
Yeah.
That's a game changer. I know I've got some ladies out there where we're like holding each other's hand, doing that little squeeze, like, oh, they're getting there. They're getting there.
So the episode is done.
You know, it's your wife, okay? It's me and your wife, so there's no laughing.
Yeah. Oh,
So the episode is done. Okay, that's the end. Season 2, episode 14, the carpet. The thing that they never address and that we really haven't really settled on.
What was it?
What was the package? Are we all
Dude,
assuming
what
that he took a dump in the middle of Mike's
Yeah.
office?
Wouldn't
I-
you know it? Wouldn't you
I
be like,
think
oh, that's a dump?
No, I think it's like a very unhealthy dump, like maybe Indian food dump.
Oh my gosh!
You're going into so much detail.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Do you think he
be.
like cooked, like he made something, like he concocted something
Maybe.
and placed it, or did he just say, "I'm going to take a dump in the
He
middle
said,
of Michael
you know
Scott's
what?
office"?
I know that what this meal does to me, so I'm eating this meal, I'm driving to the office, I'm breaking in, and I'm doing it.
Ooh.
Oh,
Did he puke?
No.
you know what?
I think
Everybody
it's poop.
also DM us. What was the package?
I would love DMs
What do you
on
think
what
it
it
was?
was.
Let's just
I
get
would
it.
love
Let's get a consensus.
I would love to know what listeners think it was because I'm not entirely sure what I would say my best guess is.
If I had to wager a guess,
Yeah.
I think Todd Packer took a nice, healthy dump skis
He took, yeah.
in the middle of Mike's office. But I'd love to hear what people think.
Yeah.
Now
I don't know.
we threw it out. We threw it out to our listeners to ask what their favorite moments were. Not a lot of responses on this one.
Boo.
But there is one that I do
Come on,
want to.
guys.
I want to give a little shout out to Mr. Luke, and I think his last name is either Fesp or Fespi.
Fespi.
I'm sure I'm butchering it.
Fespe.
But he's on Twitter at FespermanLuke. And he said, my favorite moment from the carpet is when Michael forces Kevin to identify the smell in his office and proceeds to lock him in. And Kevin says, I can't hold my breath for this
So
long.
mean.
So, I think Luke is a new listener, and somebody's reached out to us on Twitter a couple of times. And so, hey, Luke, welcome to
Welcome to the party.
the party, and thanks for being along for the ride. All that good stuff. Now, this is usually the part where we would take a look at a prank that Jim pulled. No prank from Jim, only a prank from Mr. Todd Packer.
Uh-huh.
What we're saying is maybe him reliving the oldies. Maybe he did this to Ed Truck as well.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think he did it to that truck.
But we will take a look at the leaderboard. So in third place, 23 out of 30, Jim and Pam post Dwight's resume with a score of 25. In second place, Dwight's all of Dwight's things in the vending machine. And then still, first place, 26 out of 30. It's going to be hard to beat. Jim puts Dwight's desk in the bathroom.
Yeah.
With Todd Packer.
What? Okay,
Taking his poop.
that's right.
Getting this prank ready.
And so now we head over to that good Dunder Mifflin subreddit for some quality content. And Adam Jones, if this is what I think it is, and I want to make it clear, go to the show notes. There will be a link where you can click to watch it. If this is what I think it is, not only is this quality content, but this is an Office post that has been blowing up
Oh, it's blown up
the internet because it is amazing.
so much. Yeah, so if our listeners
awesome.
are not on Reddit and on the Dunder Mifflin subreddit, you have to get on there because I don't know where you're getting good content anymore.
That's right.
This has 142,000 upvotes. Look at all the awards
And
that people have
only
been giving
for
it.
5 days.
I feel bad even saying that we're going to give him something, which we will give him, because we're doing we got lots of options now on this subreddit of awards to give.
Yes. So the subreddit used to be silver. On Reddit you can give like silver, gold
and
platinum
yeah.
to say like, hey, awesome job.
Yeah.
But on the Dunder Mifflin subreddit specifically, you can now award a Dundie, Schrootbuck, Stanley Nickel, or the Classic Award is what they call it. And so we're going to start giving out Dundies.
Sure.
Yeah, real Dundies.
Officially Dundies on the subreddit.
Supported by Reddit.
That's right.
This one already
and I
has...
just feel God in this Chili's
in
tonight.
this Chili's
We
tonight.
feel God in this post.
So this post is... I feel bad because if you're watching The Office for the first time with us and you haven't seen this yet, and it's from a future season.
Yes.
Also probably by most people's critics' opinion, like the worst slump that The Office goes through.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll get there because I don't think it's as bad as everybody
really?
makes it out to be. But that's just my personal opinion.
I do not like this character.
We'll get
me
there.
neither.
But this
Not
part
at
is
all.
hilarious. D'Angelo Dickers is his name, right?
Vickers.
D'Angelo.
Dickers. That shows you
D'Angelo
what you
Vickers.
thought of that
D'Angelo
character.
Vickers.
So the great thing about this post is that this is a D'Angelo Vickers, the character, is saying that he can juggle, and he wants to show people that he can juggle, and he's trying to show it without any juggling balls.
He doesn't have his juggling balls.
Yes.
So he's going to do his routine.
And if I remember, he never touches another man's juggling balls.
That's right.
So he's going to do his
when
routine
offered,
without
he
them.
said no.
But this Reddit user, let's see, it is Thori dash or dot zero. Anyways, this user decided, the title is, I was without internet for a while, decided to use my talents to make D'Angelo actually juggle balls. So he went in and edited this clip. Well, let's go ahead and play it because actually there's a funny audio part in particular that involves Phyllis and Phyllis. So
Phyllis's face.
yes, so we'll just
Why don't I just do my routine without the juggling balls?
This is a little bit of a spoiler.
Breeze in the
So
background.
if fast forward like 30 seconds if you need to.
now he's juggling.
Oh, wow, you weren't kidding.
No, never.
In the
Can
show,
someone
he has no
please
balls.
That's right.
Throw me a fifth
That's
ball.
what she said.
If you dare.
Kevin, of course, he does that.
And rock. Remember, nothing's impossible.
Karen, very,
What-
very impressed.
Now, hold on here. I just need there's a lot to go into this. One of the top comments that I read on here is that Will Ferrell actually looks like he knows how to juggle. Like
Yes,
he looked at
that's what I was
how
gonna
to
say.
do it
Yeah.
with this animation.
There's when he does it in the show, he doesn't actually have any balls. He's miming the whole
Yeah, he's
time.
miming it. Yeah.
But adding the balls in, it looks legit. Like he
Yes.
knows what he's doing.
And somebody was saying that this user was saying he juggles, and he said it looks like he knows like
the
what he's
movements.
doing. Yeah, yeah.
That's
So,
so awesome. I love that his juggling song is Evanescence.
oh my gosh, yes.
Phyllis, where's Phyllis?
And here we go for Phyllis.
Do you believe in me, Phyllis? Because
Yeah.
I believe in you.
Okay.
Good reaction. Don't move your head, please.
And he's just juggling off Phyllis's face.
Big hand for Phyllis.
Big hand for Phyllis.
Okay, that's
a
the
lot
big
of
part.
guts.
Now, I'm just gonna give our listeners a nod. You should open up this in our show notes and find that link.
Yeah.
And then if you go to this person, they also did other clips, and you need to watch them because then there's a part where Pam mimics afterwards what has happened, and it's a separate clip where she's like making fun of D'Angelo, and he adds balls also, and then
I've
know
not
what?
seen that before.
You know what? I've not. Now, shoot. I'll save the next one for later, but then there's another one where somebody actually then took this guy's idea. It looks like I cannot find. He looks like he didn't do this third post that I'm referencing now, so we'll save it for next week. But he did 2 of these juggling posts.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
All
Dundie Award for him.
It's awesome.
I'll have to go watch the one with Pam. I can't wait. That's great. I didn't even know that he did that. I should have dove deeper. Dang it.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for humoring us on that because it is so good. If you haven't seen it, you must live under a rock because it's everywhere.
Yo, it
It kind of blew up. It's
I
amazing.
don't even remember the first person who said it to me, but I'm grateful.
Yeah, it's so good. All right. So that brings us to the end of the show. As always, guys, thank you so much for listening. and supporting the show. Make sure that you subscribe so you get episodes as soon as they drop. Make sure you leave us that rating, and if you leave us a 5-star, we will read it live on the air. Make sure you do that. And as always, again, make sure you tell a friend. It's obvious that it's been working. Thank you guys so much for doing that. As I said, we don't take that for granted. And make sure that you check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/inofficepod. $3 a month gets you access to the after party at Poor Richard's. Tonight,
I gotta tell you, it's worth it, friends.
Absolutely.
It is so cool.
we have video clips of like things that happen in our office.
Uh-huh.
We've got all kinds of bonus audio. You get to
We've
see.
got lunches out.
That's right, lunches out. Yeah, bonus audio of when we went to Chili's.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
all that good stuff.
When I
in
did a
honor of the
cart- when I
clan.
did a cartwheel.
Adam, yes, he also sang a song.
It's so good. So make sure you check that out tonight for the after party. Like I said, in honor of the whole Ryan, Jim, Kelly shenanigans, we're talking about our like awkward junior high romance type stuff. So just a lot of cringe. You're gonna love it. So check that out. Your homework for this week: make sure you watch season 2, episode 15, Boys and Girls.
Great episode.
You're gonna love it. Maybe go out and leave somebody a big package.
Yeah.
Oh, please don't. Please don't.
And as I said at the top of the episode, go check out Nerds About. My buddy Caleb launched a new podcast. I got to be the first guest. Go support him. It's on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere. Nerds About. That'll be really cool. So thanks for that. And until next time, I'm Rob.
I'm Adam.
And I'm Andy.
And this was
Everybody in the Conference Room.
All right, let's head over to Poor Richard's.